Hey everybody, Brian Falchuk here for another part of this 7-day challenge that Adam Shively has given me and a bunch of other people to go live on a regular basis. So I'm back with another day, and today I had something I wanted to talk about, and then I saw this thing on a post somebody did on LinkedIn. It was just like totally spoke to me. So actually, I think they kind of roped together really nicely, and I want to share something with you guys. This book that I've been reading. This is Akbar Bajabiamila's book, Everyone Can Be a Ninja. Give you guys a better look at that. He is awesome. If you don't know Akbar, you have to. If you don't watch American Ninja Warrior, you have to. He's one of the co-hosts. This is a guy who played in the NFL and had some struggles. Ended up leaving at an early age. I actually haven't gotten to that part of the book, but I know his story. But he goes through like his whole backstory. It just reminds me like we can look at people and think, well, they have it great, right? Like he played professional football, he's on TV, everything's awesome. And the thing I keep saying is, we have this grass is always greener, like over there kind of mentality. And I always remind people the grass is never green unless you garden. And Akbar totally gardens. And he shares how he does that and why he's so positive and has such tremendous energy. But actually, it's that positivity that I wanted to talk about. If you watch the show, especially if you watch American Ninja Warrior Junior, you would catch that it's all super positive. And they focus on what people achieve, not where they fail. If you get to two of the 7 or 6 or 8 or however many obstacles there are, they talk about how well you did on those. And they focus on your story and everything that you've overcome. It's really positivity and achievement focus. It's like you win your way to your ultimate success. I've talked about that a number of times. I hit on it and do a day. But I love this whole positive and supportive mentality. It's a really supportive culture at American Ninja Warrior. Like they all wear each other's t-shirts when someone else is running the course. It's like you could look at them as competitors and you guys are all in it for $1 million. And if that person's better than you, then they are standing in your way. But that's not the way it feels. Like it feels like a community. It feels really positive. And so I'm thinking about that positivity, and that's what I wanted to talk about. And then I read this post that really challenged on being authentic. And it gave a bunch of examples where we have a thought in our head and what we say doesn't really align. So the thought in our head is, we get invited somewhere and we're immediately like, I don't want to go. I can't go. I have no interest in going. I'm not going to go. But what do we say? We say, oh, I'll try to make it. Or, how do I look in this dress? Oh, you look great. In reality, we're thinking like, it's not very flattering. Or someone, says something really kind to you about how much they enjoy being with you, and you may not really enjoy being with them. What do you say? You tone it down, or you say something nice, or maybe you try to distract, or go to the other plate, like a different theme or something, or just move the conversation. So it's actually the juxtaposition of these two things. Can you be authentic and tell someone how you're really thinking and feeling, and still be positive? Akbar, he's not calling out like, oh wow, look at how poorly they did on this thing. Maybe he's thinking that. Maybe he's thinking they misstepped or something. But actually, he does talk about the missteps, but he does it in a way that's positive and reinforcing and supportive. And I think that's part of how you can do this, right? If you have if you have a thought that's not what the person, maybe what you think they would hope you would think, and you hold back on saying it, you're not being authentic. That's not good. But if you just lash out at them, you'd be hurtful. You could miss some of the good that's out there. You could miss a chance to be helpful to them because you put them into this negative state, into a defensive state, into a hurt state. And maybe what you wanted is for them to take what you're feeling and grow from it. Like the comment about the dress. Like maybe if you gave an honest bit of feedback in a kind and supportive way, it could help them understand like, oh, this doesn't, make me look my best, or it doesn't bring out my best features. But if you just say like, you look terrible in that, well, they're probably not going to take it very well, understandably. So it just has me thinking about how you can bring together that positivity with your honest, authentic self. And there's another side to this. Is it's not just that you're not being authentic; it may be worse for them. So I'm big on expectation management. So if I'm not going to be somewhere, I don't beat around the bush and give people false hope. I'm pretty upfront about it, and um, it's not everybody's style. And some people are like, "Oh, I can't tell them no," and I'm like, "Well, did you ever have any intention of being there?" It's like, no, but I just couldn't say no, and they kept asking. It's like, well, they kept asking because you kept giving them these wishy-washy kind of intermediate answers, and they want you there, so it gives them hope. And then they're going to keep asking, and they're going to, keep trying to draw you in, and it's actually really hard on you, and it makes you uncomfortable. And if you had just been upfront with them, then maybe it would just be easier all around. I was talking to someone who I'm mentoring who's got a problem employee, and they haven't been giving the employee direct and clear enough feedback because they feel bad and they feel awkward, and they get into these moments where they're going to tell them, how much their work is not cutting it, and then they chicken out because it's hard. And so the employee keeps going on their way, doing work that's not great, without getting the direction and guidance that they need and the honesty that they need. And actually, this is all already played out. The employee's not in their job anymore. But there was a bit of surprise in that. There's a bit of discomfort. And actually what came out is the employee wasn't happy in the job either and didn't feel like it was a fit either. So had their manager been more upfront, more honest, more authentic, it would have saved a lot of pain on both sides. And misleading someone is not necessarily kind. So if you have a different thought inside and you're holding back on it, recognize that holding back on it may actually not be a positive thing. Even if, you're afraid of hurting the person's feelings, there's a nice way to do it, but you can be authentic and still be positive. It's a question of what you're valuing. Like if you don't want to hurt their feelings in the moment, well, okay, that's fair, but maybe you can deliver the information in a kinder way so you're less likely to hurt their feelings or hurt them less. But recognize that's not the only moment that exists. There are other things in your relationship with them. There's a bigger picture, and you may be hurting them more in the long run. You got to make that trade-off and understand, like, well, maybe it's worth it, and I can do it in a kind way, but I do need to be clear and authentic. If nothing else, your relationship will be stronger because you're engaging in an authentic way. And if it's not, that's probably a good thing to know as well, because if you have to fake who you are, hold back on who you are, do you really want to have a relationship with someone like that? I don't really want to have relationships with people where I need to pretend to be someone different for them to like me or for us to fit in together. Because guess what? You're not fitting in. If you're faking it, you're not fitting in with them. Anyway, a bit of a distraction maybe from Akbar. I just show this again. Super empowering guy. Oh, the mic's in the way. There we go. You should pick up the book. It's awesome. Cool story from himself and from a lot of the really inspiring ninjas who, they're all kind of day doers. Like they're all in line with do a day. I'd love to have many of them, including Akbar, on the show. I did shout to him and ask him to be on the show because I think his story is awesome. We'll see what happens. Maybe me putting him on blast here. A little bit more pressure for him to come on. If anybody knows Akbar, reach out and tell him you got to respond to Brian and get on the show. But yeah, I do want you to think about that. Be more authentic and grasp that positivity, because he does it. Akbar does it in a really emboldening and empowering way, even when he's talking about a failure, whether it's other people when he's commentating or himself. And you can see how it's inspiring and not cutting you down, even if he's calling out the thing that you wish was different or the thing that maybe you wish people didn't notice. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope everybody has a good night. Go pick up Everyone Can Be a Ninja. Check it out. And if you want more of this kind of stuff, I will do as many of these videos as I can, but you can always get more from the Do A Day podcast or Do A Day itself. Go to doadaybook.com or brianfalchuk.com. You can get to everything there. And my second book is on its way. I'm waiting for it to come back from the editor. Goal is by the end of this year, so you all can check it out. Okay? Have a great night, and I hope everyone goes out and does it.